Good morning. Good morning. Today's Veterans Day. So, my best wishes to all of the veterans out there. Um, we'll talk about that in just a minute. Today is Wednesday. It's the 33rd week in Ordinary Time, and today is the feast of the memorial of St. Martin of Tours, who was a bishop and a veteran of the Roman army. Our gospel today is from Luke, and uh, so let me go ahead and read the gospel today, and then we'll have a short reflection. The Holy Gospel according to Luke. As Jesus continued his journey to Jerusalem, he traveled through Samaria and Galilee. As he was entering a village, 10 lepers met him. They stood at a distance from him, raising their voices, saying, "Jesus, Master, have pity on us." And when he saw them, he said, "Go show yourselves to the priests." As they were going, they were cleansed. And one of them, realizing that he had been healed, returned glorifying God in a loud voice. And he fell at the feet of Jesus and thanked him. He was a Samaritan. Jesus said in reply, 10 were cleansed, were they not? Where are the other 9? Has none but this foreigner returned to give thanks to God? Then he said to him, "Stand up and go. Your faith has saved you." Our reading today reminds us that Jesus cared for everyone, even the outcasts, even the lepers, people that no one would touch or go near. They stood in a distance because that was the law. They were not allowed to get close to villages or to groups of people for fear that they would pass on their disease of leprosy. But Jesus again and again shows us his compassion and mercy. Today's memorial is interesting. There's an interesting story if you're not familiar with St. Martin of Tours, Bishop Martin of Tours. We can thank him. He was for his service, not to our country, but to our faith. There are many stories about St. Martin. One of the most popular stories is about when he found a beggar shivering in the cold, and Martin was in full uniform on his horse, and he stopped and took his cloak and cut it in half with his sword and gave it to the leper so he'd have a blanket to keep him warm. Martin's father was a Roman soldier, and as a result, Martin was required when he reached the age of 18 to join the Roman army. But before he joined the army, his father had retired, and at age 10, Martin had started going to a Christian school. This was way back when, so Constantine had just made Christianity legal back in 313, and shortly after that, Martin was going to a Christian school. He was a catechumen. When he left the army, he went in at 18. When he left the army, Martin went to study and declare his vocation under Hilary of Poitiers, who became a doctor of the church. After living as a hermit for years, he was made Bishop of Tours. St. Martin captured the imagination of the early church that still endures today. He's the patron saint of the U.S. Quartermaster Corps. And today is a day, as you know, as I said, that we celebrate all veterans. Today is Veterans Day. So I want to thank all of you veterans out there and pass on my thanks. Thank you for your service. I'm sure all of you have people in your family, people that you know that have served in the armed services. Let me thank a few people that I know. I want to thank you for your service, my grandfather, who fought in World War I, and when he came back was never quite the same again. And I want to thank my dad, who fought in the Pacific, and my son and daughter-in-law who went to Iraq, and my father-in-law, who was wounded in the Battle of the Bulge. I want to thank my aunt, my great uncles. I want to thank my shipmates and my fellow staffers. Thankfully, society is very quick today to acknowledge men and women who serve our country with the quick salutation, "Thank you for your service." But today's a day where we can stop for just a minute and reflect a little longer. How long were the veterans away from home, in an unfamiliar place, working strange hours, often under the tension and threat of danger? They volunteered or were drafted, and they served their country, did their duty, and then came home and went about their ordinary lives, unless they couldn't. For some, the danger, tension, and threats caused physical and or psychological wounds. Some healed, some did not. So I invite you to pray with me today to ask Jesus to heal those wounds and touch each of those hearts, so that all the veterans in our lives know that we appreciate their service and they know the place of respect they hold in our hearts. God bless you. God bless all of the veterans out there. I hope you have a good day.